Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fancy Sip Review. And today on the Fancy Sip Review, I'm going to be trying one of the newest flavors in the C4 Jolly Rancher lineup. This flavor that I'm going to be reviewing today is going to be the Jolly Rancher Blue Raspberry. But before I review this drink, I do want to give my condolences to the user base of 4chan.org. It seems like after 15 years, Paul Fetch finally got his revenge. And if you are a user of 4chan and part of Anonymous, I do hope that even though you do not forgive, I hope you do not forget to leave a comment, like, or subscribe. I would not mind a new legion of users and subscribers. So with all of that out of the way, I'm going to be again reviewing the Jolly Ranchers Blue Raspberry flavor. And in the past, I've reviewed a lot of these C4 branded beverages. And I would say C4 is up there with Ghost in terms of the tastiest of the energy drinks. I will say, though, C4 doesn't have the same quality of gym ingredients as a supplement, but in terms of flavor, it is probably up there, maybe one or maybe number two. And the Jolly Rancher line has been my favorite of the lines that they've released so far. So I am very excited to drink this. C4, if you do not know, is known for its beta-alanine, which gives some people tingles in their fingers or in their face. It doesn't really do anything for me. But I, again, am very excited to taste this for the flavor alone. So let's see what is in this new C4 Blue Raspberry. The ingredients in this are carbonated water, citric acid, carnosine, which is beta-alanine, potassium citrate, beta power, betaine anhydrose, natural and artificial flavor, caffeine anhydrose, potassium benzoate, a preservative, as sucralose is your artificial sweetener, acesulfame potassium, and vitamin B12. In this one can, there's going to be 200 milligrams of caffeine. So it's the same as a Ghost. The nutrition facts are 10 calories, no sugar, no added sugar. Obviously, there's no protein in this drink. And before I open this up, let's show off this cool looking can. So it says Jolly Rancher C4, as you can tell. Over here, it is showing what the Jolly Ranchers look like, if I can get that to pick up. And every energy drink nowadays has an infograph. This is what C4's looks like, if it'll pick up. And here is the nutrition facts on this drink. So let's open this drink up. Let's see if this is as good as the other Jolly Rancher C4 flavors. I would be surprised if it is not. Here's a little bit of ASMR for you if you come for the pour and turn the video off after I pour my drink, which I'm sure there's people that do that. Also, looking at myself in the camera, I kind of need to get a haircut or shave. I'm kind of starting to look like somebody that would be in like a 1970s movie. Let's get a nice shot of the Jolly Ranchers. There we go. So this is what the drink looks like. A lot of these supplement brands that start selling these ready-to-drink energy drinks don't usually use artificial colors. There's two different types of coloring that you'll get. You'll either get like a yellowish green drink if it uses coffee bean or tea. With this, they're just using caffeine anhydrose, so the drink itself is a very clear color. I don't see much carbonation coming from this, and I poured this pretty high. So I'm assuming that this is going to be a pretty light tasting beverage. So there's nothing in this drink, nothing floating. That's always a good sign, except for the caffeine or the carbonation coming up from the bottom. Let's see how this smells. How is this on the nose? Is this going to be a strong smelling beverage? it smells a lot more like an artificially sweetened energy drink than it does smell like blue raspberry. But that's just how it smells. Kind of smells like a scented hand sanitizer. Not the most appealing smelling beverage, but that doesn't really matter. I don't think people are drinking things based on smell. Let's see how this sits in the mouthfeel. Is this going to be a very acidic tasting beverage? Is this going to be a sweet beverage? Let's find out. A bit more acidic than I was expecting in terms of the mouthfeel of this drink. There's a bit of sourness to this flavor that I didn't really expect in terms of with C4. Jolly Ranchers is known as a sweet beverage, and if you go to some low tier dive bars, you can usually order a Jolly Rancher shot, which is known for its sweetness. It's not known for being bitter, but I think it's just the fact that this is an energy drink, and I think the ingredients that they used with this kind of gives it that acidic taste. Let's try this one more time, though. Maybe I just got a bad first sip. Yeah, this is the kind of drink where if you left it in your mouth too long, it will rot your teeth out like one of those grade school science projects. But yeah, I mean, let's give this a real drink. Let's actually sip on this as if I was going to be drinking this. I don't think that this is the kind of energy drink that you could really just pound like the Java Monster that has 300 milligrams of caffeine. That was a much sweeter beverage, which is interesting as a coffee compared to a Jolly Rancher beverage. But let's give this a genuine sip. What I'll say is on the front end, it is very acidic. Not as sour, obviously, as the ghost flavors of the Warhead line, but this is kind of in line to me with the Sour Patch Kids, where if I were to have to refer to this in terms of another energy drink, this does remind me a lot of the Blue Raspberry Ghost Sour Patch Kid. Maybe a little bit less sour, but it does have the acidity. I will say, try not being negative, but I do think that this is the C4 Jolly Rancher flavor that I would be least likely to buy again. It's not as good as the watermelon. It's not as good as the green apple one. Maybe I'm just not a big fan of the blue raspberry flavor. I just don't think that this is the tastiest. The aftertaste of this drink is very sweet, obviously. It is a Jolly Rancher drink, but it is surprising how bitter it kind of is in terms of after reviewing the other two Jolly Rancher flavors. Kind of let down by this, kind of not let down. This drink did come after the other two flavors. You would think that that would mean that it gave them more time to perfect the taste, but again, maybe I'm just not a fan of the taste of blue raspberry. Give this one more sip, and I'll give this my final number score. I don't know. I want to describe this taste as if you went to a bodega and bought one of those like Tahitian treat type knockoff drinks. But those are known for being sweet. This has a bitterness that I don't really want with a Jolly Rancher branded energy drink. It is odd to me. I think that if Ghost were to have made this drink, which again they already have that blue raspberry flavored uh, Sour Patch Kid energy drink, so they're not going to obviously double dip because they would just rather just trade the branding out like they did with the Phase Pop. I don't know. This is just generic energy drink to me. This is like when I used to go to Vitamin Shop and I used to buy their $1 cans, and I was relatively disappointed, but at least it's trying something new. I'm just surprised C4, who is selling this at a Walmart, put out a beverage that to me tastes as average as like the Lost and Found and the energy drinks that I reviewed that only got like 5 views. So I'll give this drink, even though I blasted this for going on 10 minutes, I'll give this a 6 out of 10. I think that that's passable. If you got a 6 out of 10, you could go to a community college and get your grades up and maybe go to a state school or something like that. I think if C4 puts that thought into their head, maybe the next flavor of Jolly Rancher won't be as average and mid as the kids say. I am confused at how the other two flavors were so good and then it got bad. So maybe the C4 Jolly Rancher ran in with the bad crowd and then the grades got bad. But yeah, I think that this is by far the worst of the C4 Jolly Rancher lineup. I have been the Fancy Sipper. Thank you so much for watching this video, and cheers. Clink.